Hello, we are back together once again for Dwelling in the Word. This is for Thursday, June 10th, and our reading today is 1 John chapter 5, verses 1 to 5. And I'll share my screen in just a moment here. I hope you're having a good week and being able to stay cool. Fans, air conditioning, but just be safe and drink lots of water, as they say. All right, reading from 1 John chapter 5. It is always in this first go through, listen for whatever word or phrase catches your attention. There's a number of words and phrases that are repeated throughout this reading, so maybe it will be one of those. And today I'd like you to spend just a little extra time with that word or phrase and listen to it. Why did you choose that? What feelings is it stirring up in you? There's something going on in your life right now that caused you to get caught up in that word. Again, let the word dwell in you as you dwell in this word. Everyone who believes that Jesus is the Christ has been born of God, and everyone who loves the parent loves the child. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and obey God's commandments. For the love of God is this, that we obey God's commandments. And God's commandments are not burdensome. For whatever is born of God conquers the world. And this is the victory that conquers the world, our faith. Who is it that conquers the world but the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God? What word or phrase caught your attention? You can pause the video for however long you wish, or if you don't have time right now, you can do that later. So come back for the second reading. This time, if you notice twice in this reading, there is the phrase born of God. I want you to listen to that phrase and think about, what does it mean to you to be born of God? This isn't going to be a question that you can just snap out an answer and, okay, let's get on to the next one. Well, I guess it could be. But I'd like you, again, to wrestle with this question. Think about it throughout the day, because what it means to you at one point in the day or a part of the week, it might mean something a little bit different, or that meaning will grow deeper and richer in you as you think about it a little more. Okay, so listen for the phrases. It's in two places, born of God, and ponder, what does this mean for you? Everyone who believes that Jesus is the Christ has been born of God, and everyone who loves the parent loves the child. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and obey God's commandments. For the love of God is this, that we obey God's commandments. And God's commandments are not burdensome. For whatever is born of God conquers the world. And this is the victory that conquers the world, our faith. Who is it that conquers the world but the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God? Again, what does it mean for you to be born of God, for your life, for you personally? When we come back to the third reading, last time through, see if I can read my notes here. This talks about being really a person of faith, of loving, of obeying God's commandments, believing that Jesus is the Son of God. As you listen to the reading the third time, and maybe another question to carry with you throughout the day. And like, you don't have to do all of this at the same time, but maybe just pick one of these questions and ponder it today. In what ways does being a person of faith influence you, like in your whole life? But think about, if you're listening to this in the morning, as you go through the day, think about, how does being a person of faith influence what you do, how you respond to others? Is there a particular incident that happens during the day, a particular experience where your faith really mattered in how you matters in how you respond? Or if you're listening to this in the evening and look back, again, how do you live your faith in daily life, and what difference have you seen that make for yourself, for others? Final reading for 1 John 5. Everyone who believes that Jesus is the Christ has been born of God, and everyone who loves the parent loves the child. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and obey God's commandments. For the love of God is this, that we obey God's commandments. And God's commandments are not burdensome. For whatever is born of God conquers the world. And this is the victory that conquers the world, our faith. Who is it that conquers the world but the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God? I just want to say also that I give you these 3 questions to guide you in your praying with this passage of Scripture, meditating on it throughout the day. But if you come up with some other idea or feeling or thought as you're going through Scripture, and you just kind of don't even bother with my questions, but stick with what you came up with, that is perfectly okay. That, in fact, is kind of what I'm hoping, that the more we practice this, the more that you come up with your own questions and wonderings. So however, whatever works for you. But again, I hope that this is helpful to you in connecting with God, and hopefully we can have a time in the coming weeks to connect together. And I am going to post something about, I put in the newsletter that we could meet by Zoom tomorrow night, Thursday night. I will put something on our Facebook page about that. And also a reminder that we are not having an in-person gathering to talk about dwelling in the Word on Friday morning, because there is a funeral at church and visitation will be going on. So thank you for listening, dear ones, and have a good day, a good evening, whatever time you happen to be tuning in here. Blessings.